It's called the Gut Friendly Ramadan Guide. And so we're going to take a look at this and learn about our guts, learn about the health of our guts in the context of Ramadan. When we look at this book, it's been very interesting. So now I understand about like the leaky gut issue. I didn't know what that was. I heard the term before, but I didn't know what that was. And it's new information to me. So I'm going to be sharing all the new information to me in here, that the immune system is connected to the gut. Older people and children are more likely to become sick due to their intestines not being at prime development and health. So that is really interesting. And then, of course, she talks about my big enemy, my big nemesis, which is sugar. SubhanAllah, sugar again rears its ugly but attractive head. So if you love sugar and you're not ready to give it up, then you got to read this book too, inshallah, to help you curb your interest in sweet things. And before reading this book, I thought that I cooked healthy things, but my dependence on certain canned things or boxed things, like I don't use that stuff that often, but it is a staple. You know, when I go shopping, there's frozen things, there's packaged things, and there's preserved things. And there's some things that have a long list of ingredients, of which many things I don't recognize. So, you know, she mentions in the book that processed foods are the kinds of things that I used. You know, prepared soup, prepared sauce, condiments, sometimes cereal. We are doing really good without the cereal, alhamdulillah, in my house, but that happens too. She talks about having a food journal, which is amazing and was so great. Journaling anything you do is great, but having a food journal, especially during Ramadan, it's super easy for us during Ramadan to write down what we're eating, what we're going to eat, what we want to eat, all of that, mashallah. So she mentions that, you know, we're eating less and we remember exactly what it was we ate and we're planning ahead to what we're going to eat. So that's really easy to do. And basically, you know, she says bad food feeds bad organisms and good food feeds the good organisms inside our guts. So she goes into detail about that. She does mention green tea, which I don't like. I've never liked the taste of it. Somebody please comment and tell me something good about green tea, some yummy way to have it, because I've heard so much good about green tea, and including in her book. You know, eating organic, obviously, is also awesome for the guts too. And I love in this book how most of the chapters end with a wonderful kind of before and after story from her clients. It really adds authenticity and it adds hope. You know, for those of us with gut issues, or for those of us who are just trying to eat more healthy, for me, a lot of it is like seeing it in my body, seeing how I'm feeling. And really up to this point in my life, you know, I don't think I was aware at all of my health, how things were making me feel. I did eat chocolate as a crutch to make me feel better about my personal life. And you know, definitely I knew eating certain things was not good. But now that I'm come away from that, alhamdulillah, Allah pulled me out of that situation. I am focusing more on and I'm noticing how certain things make me feel. And so she's mentioning that, like to note these things and being, you know, intentional and aware of what you eat, which is fascinating. So alhamdulillah, talking about stress. We know this about stress, right? SubhanAllah, any fan of Dr. Gabor Mate understands the seriousness of being under prolonged stress. And so stress actually causes your body, which she mentions in the book, it causes the stress to speed up the digestion process in your body, subhanAllah. And we know that that's never any good, subhanAllah. And then the amazing thing, and it kind of endears me to fat in a way, but she mentions that fat covers over and protects us from toxins. So when you have toxins in your body and you have that stubborn fat that won't go anywhere, it's because you've got toxins in your system and you're being exposed to toxins. And, you know, alhamdulillah, I've been staying away from bleach for a while. And, you know, I bought some cleaning vinegar just the other day to actually just kind of replace all that other stuff. But we know the basic thing that she mentions here, and this is something that I saw in some other videos about health. If you regularly clean something, you don't need those harsh chemicals anyway, right? And of course, we know bleach is just like we should just not have bleach in a house at all. Lack of sleep. She talks about sleep in here too, which is very important. That's definitely something I'm trying hard to manage, even with Ramadan coming up. Getting moving after eating is something that she reminds us about, and we know that this is actually something sunnah, to not rest after you eat. We have to sit up when we're eating, and also to move around after you eat is something from the sunnah. So she reminds us about that, something I'm going to try to make sure that I do. Something else is really amazing about her book is that there's these little helpful self-quizzes that you ask yourself to check in on your health at all the different aspects. So when she mentions, stress, and she mentions like food journal and everything, she has these great little questions. It's like a little mini session with her inside the book. Of course, the whole last half of the book is all about Ramadan and how we treat Ramadan. And many of the things that you mention in there are things that I talk about, like not overeating and eating nutritious things because your body needs to be healthy, and making sure that you get your water in the nighttime, making sure that you drink water consistently in the nighttime. And the fact that she brings in like emotion, like when we are grateful, then we are less stressed, and it helps us with our general overall digestive gut health, which is fascinating. So something really interesting, she quoted somebody else in the book about, the boxed and canned food. Is it food or is it food-like? Is it food adjacent? Less ingredients, like when you look in the store, we're looking at boycott items now, and we're looking and making sure, where is this made? And then Muslims were always looking, okay, what ingredients are in this? Does this have alcohol? Does it have pork? We're looking at that kind of stuff on the. But while we're doing that, while we're looking at our labels, we should be looking at the amount of ingredients. Something that she mentioned in here, ingredients that you can recognize. Like the words that you don't have to get a dictionary to read. Okay, so alhamdulillah, here you go. The last part of the book is recipes, mashallah. And I'm not going to spill any of the recipes. You have to get the book to get it, inshallah. But she's not only has she told us the kinds of foods that we should be eating, the kinds of foods we should be staying away from, but all these wonderful things for Ramadan that we can drink and eat for our suhoor and our iftar to make sure that our gut health is consistent throughout the month. So I love this book, and I recommend everybody else get it. I highly recommend it. I'm so glad I read it. I took a bunch of notes. I'm going back for the recipes, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on her and help her and give her success in this endeavor. And you make sure to get this book before Ramadan so you're all ready. Assalamu alaikum.